Hey guys, salaam, assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Khadija Hussain. I'm a practicing Muslim with autism and other disabilities. This video is going to be about not all mental scars are meant to be healed. Not all mental scars are meant to be healed. Through my trauma with being bullied at junior school, I've learned that not all mental scars are meant to be healed, just like physical scars. They are meant to be seen but not felt. Here is what my trauma taught me and my journey with my mental health. There's no such thing as surviving trauma. It is said in the media that trauma should be recovered because it is always a bad thing. Or is it? Or is not? Yes, trauma does have a deep psychological effect, which is bad, such as depression and other bad things. But trauma could also be an eye opener for certain things. For example, my trauma showed me how people people with disabilities, in the general society, is being treated by other people. If it wasn't for my trauma, I'm not saying that trauma should happen or is a good thing, but I would not have my motivation for my career at my voluntary job or to be a teacher for children ages 5 to 8 with learning disabilities, or my work in the multi-schools council, to show others that no matter how severe disabilities are, everyone has the same abilities, but only in different ways. Disabilities is not disabilities, but what I call different abilities. Following on from the last point, as I said, no matter how mild or severe an individual's disability is, they still can feel and learn new things, but in their own unique way. Also, the individual gets extra abilities due to their syndromes or their diagnoses, such as more compassionate or understanding, but in their own way. Words can hurt. We all say words don't hurt, but the reality is, we all experience, um, but sometimes don't realize and sometimes don't admit that words do hurt more than hitting, and they impacted individuals in a worse way for even longer and can lead to horrible things like depression, anxiety, and other mental health disorders, which some things that it can cause I can't say because they're too deep and too like scary. It's always the words that makes mental health bad in a person. Trauma does not always end. Wait, sorry, trauma does end with a beautiful rainbow. Sorry, I'm reading off a script and I don't know how the word did not got in there. Trauma does always end with a beautiful rainbow. During trauma is always one of the worst times a human being can experience, but when the trauma ends, and especially if you deal with it in the right way, you and when you strive from in a positive way, but not recover. There's no such thing as recovering trauma. You can only strive from it. You will feel a whole burden has lifted, and it feels like a rainbow. Don't blame yourself and forgive yourself for what happened. I've always had issues with self-blame and forgiving myself for my trauma of being bullied in junior school because of how I reacted to other children bullying me, and I blamed myself for everything. It took me 4 years for me to stop blaming myself and 6 years for me to forgive myself. But when I did so, the burden of my trauma and the restlessness of my heart has lifted, and I always see the bright side of the world now. So don't beat yourself up over something that you may not have control over or something that happened in the past, because the past is the past. Thank you for watching my video. I hope this really helped you. Bye bye.